You spent $1,000 on a Van Cleef & Arpels 4-leaf clover bracelet. You put it on, you felt lucky, and then you actually closed a deal. You told self it was the bracelet. But here's the thing, was it your confidence that improved your performance, or did that chain actually have magic? Today we're going to crack a mystery. Is lucky jewelry, superstition, or tautology? And why did jewelers figure this out before psychologists did?
If you've ever bought a piece of jewelry because it was lucky, hit like. You're not the only one paying for hope. Hey guys, it's your girl Pearl. In 1968, Van Cleef & Arpels launched the Alhambra collection, the 4-leaf clover necklace you're looking at right now. Jack Arpels of the founding family used to say, to be lucky, you have to believe in luck. He used to collect 4-leaf clovers from his own garden and give them to his employees, along with a poem called Don't Quit, to encourage them to hold on to hope. 4-leaf clovers are extremely rare, about 1 in every 10,000 clovers. Finding one means you've been favored by luck itself. Jack Arpels wasn't wrong, 4-leaf clovers are rare. But here's the question. If 4-leaf clovers actually bring luck, why didn't Jack Arpels just plant his whole garden with them and wait for unlimited luck to roll in? Because he knew the luck of a 4-leaf clover isn't in the finding. It's in the believing that you found it. The horseshoe, another classic Western lucky symbol. British chemist Robert Boyle documented it back in the 17th century. Finding a horseshoe brings good luck. But here's the thing. The horseshoe's real magic moment is when it's nailed to your door, not because it wards off evil, because you won't trip over it. That kind of luck is measurable. You don't trip, you don't get hurt. You don't get hurt, you save on medical bills. And when you save money, you feel lucky. Van Cleef & Arpels Alhambra 4-leaf clover collection, starting at $1,000, $2,000. High-end pieces can reach tens of thousands of dollars. Materials include 8K gold, mother of pearl, malachite, carnelian, onyx, and diamonds. Loved by Princess Grace of Monaco and French singer Françoise Hardy since its 1968 debut. Cross pendants, the coarse symbol of Christian faith. Crossed fingers, necklaces. An 18-year-old girl received a gold crossed fingers necklace from her mother, believed to bring good luck, especially during interviews and exams. Horseshoe brooch is popular in the 19th century, circa 1890, set with diamonds and spinels. People wore horseshoe-shaped jewelry as a token of good fortune. The key point when buying 4-leaf clover jewelry, you need to know that the 4-leaf clover design wasn't invented by Van Cleef & Arpels. It was registered as a commercial symbol by them. You can buy a cheaper 4-leaf clover necklace elsewhere. But as for luck, how much are you willing to pay for a registered symbol? And the 4-leaf clover you bought might not even have 4 leaves in a jewelry store. The difference between a real 4-leaf clover design and a knockoff often just comes down to whether you've paid for the legitimate luck or not. Jack Arpels says, "You ask me, is the 4-leaf clover really lucky? The answer is, if you believe it is, it is. I gave 4-leaf clovers to my employees, not to make them actually find luck, but so that when things got tough, they'd have something in their hands that they believed would bring them luck." In 2010, psychologists at the University of Cologne ran an experiment. They took away participants' lucky charms and then gave them back, and tested their memory. The result? The group wearing their lucky charms found an average of 46 words, while the group without them only found 31, a difference of 15 words. They didn't perform better because the lucky charm had magic. They performed better because having the lucky charm made them believe they could do it. Scientists call this self-efficacy. You believe you can do it, so you actually do it better. Middle Eastern and North African amulets. Whose hand is the hand of Fatima really? The Hamsa hand. In Arabic, it's called the hand of Fatima. In Hebrew, the Hamesh hand. An open palm amulet, popular in the Middle East and North Africa. There's usually an eye in the center of the palm to ward off the evil eye. This symbol first appeared in ancient Mesopotamia, predating any organized religion. Then Arab culture said, it's the hand of Fatima, the prophet's daughter, whose hand could heal. Jewish culture said, it's the symbol of the Torah. The 5 fingers represent the 5 books of Moses. One symbol, 3 religions claiming it. Whose magic is it? Really? In the Georgian and Victorian eras, hand-shipped jewelry was used to convey emotions. A hand holding a rose, love. A hand holding a snake, eternal love and wisdom. Holding a rod, you're seeking guidance. If it's a hand with a snake bracelet holding a rod that's more complicated, you need wisdom's guidance. Hamsa amulet necklaces, silver or gold, with an evil eye in the center. Prices range from $20 tourist souvenirs to $1,000 plus designer pieces. Hand of Eternal Love, necklaces 18K gold, set with opal, sapphire, diamond, savarate, and garnet. This design turns a traditional amulet into high jewelry. You're paying for metal and stones, but what you're really getting is a story. The direction of the Hamsa hand also matters. Fingers down means you're open to kindness, receiving wealth and luck. Fingers up means you're blocking the evil eye. Same gesture, different direction, different meaning, and your purchase decision is your own. Hamsa hand buying pitfalls. First, quality. A street stall's gold-plated Hamsa costs $2 to make. Sold to you for $20, $50. Second, cultural distortion. The Hamsa's meaning varies across cultures, but sellers usually just tell you whatever you want to hear. Third, synthetic stones passing as natural opal, sapphire, turquoise are common in Hamsa designs, but low-end versions likely use synthetic materials.
I am Fatima, the Prophet Muhammad's daughter. They say my hand can heal. You know what? I never said that, but they believed it. When I was alive, my hand only did one thing, giving.
Japanese researchers surveyed 198 students. Why do people wear amulets? The answer is interesting. Not because people want to connect with supernatural forces, but because those amulets are gifts from family and friends. The amulet's function is to remind the wearer, someone supports you. Asian traditions, jade, guanyin, amulet, and faith consumption. The Lucky Star Amulet, made by Thai monk Luang Pho Pinak. The 5-pointed star on the front represents the 5 great Buddhas. The 8-pointed star on the back represents the 8 directional guardian deities, and it's said to summon benevolent spirits to help the wearer. He said, "People doubted my power. I said, lie down and pour sand into your own eyes. My amulet protects 8 people around you." They did it. Not one person got sand in their eyes. What's your reaction to this story? Strange? Magical? Or isn't this just a classic charlatan trick? But those people really believed it. They believed it, so they felt protected. And then things actually got better for them. Is it real? That doesn't matter. What matters is it worked. In Chinese culture, jade represents the virtue of a gentleman. It symbolizes moral character and status, and is also believed to ward off evil. Gold represents wealth, luck, and happiness. So when someone wears jade, they're not just wearing decoration. They're making a statement. I am a person of character. Jade bangles, pendants symbolize virtue, luck, and longevity in Chinese culture. Jadeite prices range from a few dollars to millions. Guanyin pendants. Guanyin, the bodhisattva of compassion, is believed to protect the wearer. Thai Buddhist amulets made from temple clay, incense, ash, and other materials, believed to be blessed with spiritual power. 5 elements jewelry. Designed according to the theory of mutual generation and restraint among wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Crosses, saint medals, Christian amulets, with different saints offering different forms of protection. Asian lucky jewelry pitfalls. First, treated jade that's been dyed or resin treated might look beautiful, but long-term wear can be harmful to your health. Second, blessed guanyin pendants. Pendants, claimed to be blessed, get marked up 10 times. But there's no industry standard for what blessed actually means. Third, the origin of Thai amulets. Do you really know what that amulet was made with?
I am Guanjin, compassionate and merciful. You wear my pendant and pray for protection. I hear you. But do you know what I hear more often?
people coming to me crying because they bought a fake pendant.
Researchers in Taiwan conducted a survey of 150 valid responses. Faith has a positive effect on the expected quality of lucky items. But more interestingly, perceived price had no positive effect. Instead, it had a negative correlation. In other words, you spend a lot of money on a lucky bracelet, and your expectations actually drop. The more you think, this is expensive, the more you worry, what if it doesn't work? And then it doesn't work. Modern spiritual consumer goods, crystals, energy bracelets, and emotional value. Go search #crystal healing on TikTok. Nearly 4 billion views. In 2024, TikTok US alone did nearly $2.08 million a month in natural crystal sales. A small shop called Freya Jewelry sold 77,000 units of one mixed crystal bracelet in 6 months, $610,000. On Instagram, the #crystals tag has over 6 billion views. When you see these numbers, you might think some big brand is behind it. They're not. Most of the supply comes from Donghai County in Jiangsu, China, known as the crystal capital of the world. North American consumers aren't buying crystal bracelets because they look pretty. They're buying them because they believe rose quartz attracts love, amethyst helps with sleep, and green phantom brings wealth. Every crystal energy video you scroll past on TikTok, there's someone on the other end of it, doing the exact same thing you are, looking for a little certainty in an uncertain world. 5 Elements Jewelry, designed according to the theory of mutual generation and restraint among wood, fire, metal, and water. Meadow is represented by white and metallic colors, wood by green, water by black and blue, fire by red, earth by yellow and brown. Crystal bracelets prices range from $10 to $500. Low-end uses synthetic crystal, high-end uses natural crystal. Energy bracelets claim to adjust the body's energy field. Astrology jewelry, customized based on zodiac signs or birth charts. 5 Elements jewelry designed according to 5 Elements theory. Blessed jewelry claimed to have been blessed by a master or energized. Cristo pitfalls. First, synthetic Cristo, passed off as natural synthetic Cristo, costs far less. Usually has fewer inclusions, but may have bubbles. Natural Cristo often has internal veils and uneven color. Second, the layering amplifies energy. Pitch, it's just a tactic to get you to buy more pieces, with no scientific basis. Third, blessings and energizing. There's no way to verify if it's actually been blessed. Fourth, outright scams. Someone spent $40,000 on a $500 crystal decoration, just because someone told her this will change your luck. In a 2010 study conducted jointly by German and American scientists, golfers were split into 2 groups. One group was told they were using a lucky ball, the other was told they were using a regular ball. Result: the group using the lucky ball had a nearly 40% higher putt success rate than the regular group. Psychologist Stuart Weiss from Connecticut College said, "These superstitious behaviors can indeed help people perform better. Even just telling them it's a lucky ball is enough to affect their performance." From magic to psychology. You know when the earliest lucky jewelry appeared? Not Van Cleef and Arpels, not Cartier. It was thousands of years by sea in Mesopotamia, when people strung lapis lazuli, carnelian, and turquoise into bracelets to ward off evil and seek divine protection. Back then, luck was real luck. They genuinely believed the stones held spirits. Opal was once the luckiest stone in the world. The Roman senator Nonius chose exile rather than give up his opal because people believed opals could see the future. But later, opals became unlucky. The stone didn't change. What changed was what we decided to believe. In medieval Europe, lucky charms became crosses, saint medals, and images of the Virgin Mary. People believed these objects had holy power to ward off plagues, war, and demons. By the Victorian era, lucky charms became emotional. The hand of eternal love necklace, with a hand holding a rose for love, or a snake for eternal love and wisdom. See, for thousands of years, humans have been doing the same thing. Find something, then believe it can protect you. The difference is, ancient people believed the stone itself held a spirit. Modern people believe that believing the stone holds a spirit is useful in itself. That's not progress, it's an upgraded version of self-deception. The stone still doesn't help you roll the dice. But now you pay more for the right to believe. Historical Lucky Jewelry pitfalls. First, the seller's history might be half fiction. A medieval Sate medal might actually be made in a modern factory. An ancient-style lapis lazuli might just be dyed. Second, genuine antiques need provenance. If you're buying for a collection, not just decoration, you need to confirm its origin and chain of ownership. Third, if you just want to feel the history, a replica is enough, because what you need is the act of believing, not the proof.
Lapis lazuli connects to the gods. In our time, that claim was indeed real. Not because the stone had magic, but because when I walked into the temple wearing lapis lazuli, the priests wouldn't dare lie to me. Sometimes luck doesn't come from heaven. It comes from the way people look at you differently.
Taiwanese researchers surveyed 150 lucky item wearers. They found faith has a positive effect on the expected quality of lucky items. But more interestingly, perceived price had no positive effect instead. It had a negative correlation. In other words, you spend more money on a lucky bracelet, and your expectations actually drop. The more you think this is expensive, the more you worry, what if it doesn't work? And then it doesn't work. Luck is your persona. You know what Michael Jordan's most superstitious lucky charm was? Not a ring, not a bracelet. It was a pair of college shorts. He wore them when he played at the University of North Carolina, and later he wore them under his NBA jersey for multiple seasons. Someone asked him why. He said, "It's not because it makes me jump higher. It's because if I don't wear it, I'll keep thinking about it. I don't want to think about my pants during a game." You hear that? One of the greatest basketball players in history admitted he needed a pair of college shorts to not think about it. That's not superstition, that's ritual. Tiger Woods wears a red shirt on Sundays. His mother reportedly told him it brings luck. Beckham has to place the ball at a specific angle before a free kick. Nadal has 17 ritualistic movements before serving. Adjusting his hair, pulling his shorts, touching his nose, not one can be skipped. Or he feels the match is off. What's even more interesting, a Taiwanese study of in-depth interviews with 17 athletes found that their superstitious behaviors came from culture, religion, family, and training environments. And the most commonly used luck-enhancing practices were lucky items, ritual behaviors, religious practices, and taboos. You ask them, "Do you really think these things work?" They say, "I don't know, but using them is better than not using them." Sports psychologists divide athletes' superstitious behaviors into categories: taboos, rituals, lucky objects, religious practices, and magical behaviors. The common function of these behaviors, not to change the outcome of the game, but to change how the athlete feels about the outcome of the game. The outcome of a game is uncertain. You can't control your opponent, the weather, the referee, the court, random errors. The more uncontrollable factors there are, the more you need a way to pretend you have control. Superstitious behaviors arise in exactly this context. You put on a lucky bracelet. You tell yourself, "I can control this," and then you actually do it. Not because the bracelet has magic, but because you believe you can. Lucky bracelets among the most common lucky objects for athletes, made from woven cord, leather, metal chains, or silicone bands. Prices range from $10 to $500. Lucky rings worn during games, often engraved with symbols or text. Amulet pendants, lucky symbols on necklaces, such as crosses, peace signs, family photos, or lucky coins. Victory bracelets, custom-made winning bracelets for teams or individuals. Athlete lucky jewelry pitfalls. Game used if a seller claims this was a lucky charm used by a famous athlete. What you need to do isn't pay, it's ask. How do you prove it actually belonged to him? Without photos, signatures, or provenance, its value is no different from any ordinary bracelet. Lucky jewelry is psychological wellness. Van Cleef and Arpost's Alhambra 4-leaf clover collection, launched in 1968, still going strong after 50 years. Jacques Arpos' motto was, "To be lucky, you have to believe in luck." That phrase sounded powerful in the 1970s. Today, it sounds more like a marketing tagline. He wasn't wrong, but the relationship between that belief and selling four-leaf clovers is like faith first, consumption second. Except faith is free and four-leaf clovers come with a price tag. In 2024, Chinese jewelry brand La Miao launched the String of Good Luck collection. A 2023 survey on youth consumption showed that 64% of consumers place more importance on spiritual consumption, with younger consumers placing even higher value on it. Leo Mail turned this trend into 3 product lines: Attract Wealth, Attract Connections, and Attract Luck. You're reading that right. They split one collection into 3 lines, corresponding to wealth, love, and luck. That's business logic, not mystical logic. You buy the Attract Wealth line, you think you're attracting money, but what you're actually doing is attracting revenue to the brand's balance sheet. Van Cleef and Arpos Alhambra, the four-leaf clover, launched in 1968. Materials include 18K gold, mother of pearl, malachite, carnelian, onyx, and diamonds. Prices range from $1,000 to tens of thousands. Cartier, Tiffany & Co., and other high jewelry lucky pieces. Lucky jewelry pitfalls. You're buying the brand, not the luck. In Van Cleef and Arpels Alhambra, how much of what you paid is materials and craftsmanship? And how much is the story that this symbol can make you feel better? The more you pay, the more you believe it works, which is a self-reinforcing cycle. It does indeed work, because you become more confident, but the problem isn't that it doesn't work. The problem is that you paid for the story price, not the stone price.
All right, let's hear from each side. Why does your lucky jewel work?
Opal. It lets me see the future. It contains the fire of ruby, the colors of amethyst, the sea green of emerald. I chose exiled rather than give it up. You ask if it has magic? Yes! I was willing to be exiled for it. That itself is already a form of belief.
My hand was for giving, not guarding. If you believe it protects you, I won't stop you. God bless.
My amulet summons spirits to protect you and those around you. Science says it's all in your head? Then tell me, what about the things that weren't? I often said, to be lucky, you have to believe in luck. I picked four-leaf clovers from my garden and gave them to my employees along with the poem Don't Quit to encourage them to hold on to hope. Many say I'm selling a belief. The stone isn't worth that price, but belief is.
You pray to me wearing my pendant, I hear you. To those crying over a fake one, your intention reached me. Blessed or not, I am always here. A label may comfort you, but I haven't moved.
The 2010 University of Konu study showed participants with lucky charms had more confidence, set higher goals, and persisted longer. The German golf experiment also proved players told they were using gall higher putt to success mate than those using a regular ball. Your magic can be explained by self-efficacy. You believe it works, so it works. The stone itself doesn't have magic, your brain does. But since you're all saying you work, all I can say is, you're all right. It's just that the working you're talking about isn't the same thing. Who knows?
You hear that? The scientist says, it's not the stone helping you, it's you helping yourself. The gods say, belief itself has power. The jeweler says, I'll provide you with a vessel to carry that belief. The athlete says, I need an anchor to keep me from thinking about other things. They're all saying the same thing. You need a trigger to activate your belief. The gods call it an amulet. The scientist calls it a self-efficacy trigger. The jeweler calls it a product. Michael Jordan calls it shorts.
So, can lucky jewelry really make you luckier? The answer is yes, but not because the stone has magic. Because you believe in it, so you become more confident. You become more confident to perform better. Perform better, so you actually get luckier. The stone doesn't help you roll the dice. It just helps you get rid of the thought, I can't.
Spending $15 on an Etsy bracelet and spending $40,000 on a Van Cleef, their magic comes from the same source. If you're willing to believe in it, it works. The difference is, the $15 one tells you you're lucky. The $40,000 one also tells you you have taste. The rest is up to you. Do you wear a lucky charm? Tell me in the comments. I'm Pearl, and this is the Absolute V. Subscribe if you want to know what's actually in your jewelry box and your feed.